We've been doing this thing for 22 weeks, man. So thank you again for joining us. Um, we got a topic today. Today's topic is reflection. As it's been going for a month or so now, we're standing on business. I was. My name is Demetrio Shakan. I've been doing this since about 2018. Of course, those who know me, Travis. And Major, we started this thing together. For those who don't know, we started it together back in 2018. Um, we we were out in the field assignment in Hurricane Michael. Oh no! I'm sorry. Was it Hurricane Michael? I think so. Yeah. Back then, but we all started out in the field. No water, no electricity, and a hotel, things like that. So, as I reflect back on the beginnings of my journey, as I reflect on last year, man, I'm not gonna eat it front. I'm not gonna lie, man. Last year was rough about this time for me. Now, I was going through some personal things, going through a separation, going through a divorce, just going through some things this time last year. This time, I mean, like these days as we were going, man, I was really going through some stuff last year, man. So I literally had to borrow money to get started. I accepted a deployment, and I was like, yo, I gotta get a room. I gotta get this, that, and that. I was reaching out, man. I had spent all my money trying to go through this divorce. It was just, man, it was just really some tough times for me this time last year. My resolve, I was so wanting to get to work. This for me was a safety net. This was like a safe haven getting back to work. So not only was I able to get out of my little thing that I was in this funk, I was able to pay everybody back and then some, and then profit and just be better and just have a great year last year, man. I made over 150,000 easy, no problem, and just was able to recoup what I had lost, what I had to spend, just trying to make things right. So as I reflect back on 2023, man, it was it was a trying year, but it was a fantastic year. Just trying to take out and grab the things that was beautiful, which was a lot of things, man. I was in a lot of new areas. I was in the field, had a lot of new experiences, meeting a lot of new great people, and beginning a great journey. So as I reflect on 2023, great year for me. So I have a great call today. So thank everybody again, man, for taking out the time to join us on this Zoom call today, this Sunday. Again, we're talking about reflection, standing on business. We're going to have a great call. We're going to have great people today. Man, we're going to, Janae is going to be bringing up and talking with Mr. Javon Garner, who's going to go over, his things, his starting out and everything. We're going to do a little bit something unique. We're going to be starting a panel discussion. And today's panel discussion is going to be with our very own couple that is out here with Tobbie and Dennis Farris. Tobbie and Dennis are a couple. They started this journey together. So they're going to be speaking with us on that, man, and the trials and tribulations of going through that, man, the good, the bad, the ugly, as far as going through that as a couple. So make sure you guys, if you have any questions, drop them into the chat. Please feel free to interact. We encourage you guys to interact, man. So thank you guys for being here again. So I want to make mention of, the info that we have. Please fill out that. I think, a lot of you guys had to fill it out in order to get into the meeting. So we thank you for that. Bring somebody in, bring a couple of people in, man. This journey, this thing we have, man, is great. So everybody that I talk to and that I speak with, it's been great for me. So especially the people that I care about and love, man, I really try to encourage them and bring them into the fold as well. So I encourage you guys to do the same with what we're doing. Let me see here. I think that's about it, man. So let's go ahead and get this show started on the road. I am going to be bringing out Janae. Janae is going to be, again, speaking with you, with Javon, and they're going to be discussing their story. So, Miss Janae, if you wouldn't mind joining us.
Yes, thank you, Meech. Appreciate that. Hello to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again on this lovely Sunday evening. For those who don't know, my name is Janae. I have been adjusting for 1 year. I literally started at the very, very beginning of this year. The topic is reflection. Wow. It's been an amazing career start for me. I, like I said, I just started this year. I'm gonna have all the totals and everything, but I think I think I made over 200,000 this year, which is really crazy to say out loud. But it's been an amazing journey. I am a bit tired this at the end of this year, so I am looking forward to some rest. I'm actually on deployment right now, finishing up in about 2 weeks or so. Again, very much looking forward to that. But yeah, like I said, it's been an amazing year. For those who are thinking about adjusting, for those who already have their license and didn't do anything with it so far, which is how a lot of people start off. Just like myself, I had my license for maybe like 6 months before I was like, you know what, let me try this. Let's see what this is about. What everyone's telling me. Best decision of my life so far. Very much like Meech last year, this time I was not in the best place financially. Now that seems so long ago. Like I can help my mom whenever she needs it. I can pay all my bills at the beginning of the month, which feels amazing. But yeah, I will definitely go into more details of my story once I'm a guest speaker on one of these upcoming weeks. It's been a crazy ride, like I said, but very much I'm so thankful for this community because at the start of my career, um, if I would have had this community, I think I would have lasted a bit longer on my first deployment. But nonetheless, I've been on this deployment for just over 5 months now, and I know for a fact, without the people in this community, I would not still be here right now. I would have easily burnt out very long ago. So, with that said, I'm very happy to be a part of this community. Like Meech said, if you know anyone who could use this advice, or like he used to say, if you love them, just bring them along to this meeting because either way they're probably gonna pick up some good gems from it, and maybe they'll be able to help someone else that may be in a tough position. With that said, we have an amazing rest of the call. First, I'm going to bring up Mr. Javon Garner. If you can come on and let us know a little bit about how you guys started, what was your first deployment like, and just give us a little bit of the rundown.
All right. How we doing, everybody? My name is Javon Garner. I'm 23, born and raised Toledo, Ohio. Uh, how I got started was really due to COVID, honestly, and that may sound a little scary or whatever, but it was really just like a time for me to reflect, honestly. So I just asked my uncle, "What's up?" And not even 3 months later, I was on my first deployment in 2020. So that's just really how I tuned out. Uh,
Hmm.
what
And
the career was set. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, for those who don't know, Mr. Travis Brock is his uncle. For those who don't know, go ahead. Sorry.
You're all right. But the career that I thought I was gonna be doing first was gonna be to be like a electrician in the trades and everything. So that kind of faded away a little bit. They shut down, didn't come back. So I was just like, let me reflect real quick. Let me see all my options and whatnot. So it's kind of been a little difficult, but now I think I got like a really good, like I'm really good at it now, like kinda. So this year it's been okay. I haven't been consistently on it like straight through and through, but I still made a decent amount of money. Um, my first deployment was just about as you would expect. I was going for 3 weeks. Uh,
Right.
but you just like everybody else, honestly, you
Right.
don't know what's going on. You're going left and right, trying to keep up. But so I wish it would have gone on longer, but I think I still made pretty decent amount of money for that time.
Hmm.
But it was pretty cool. But it was honestly pretty scary. It was my first long drive type of thing. What made it difficult really was tuning out the outside noise, honestly. For my first deployment, oh, excuse me. For
Hmm.
my first deployment,
You
really
mean like
tuning
from
out.
like friends and family?
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Right.
I wasn't really on the first one. I was like, well, when you out there, they're already expecting of you. So you gotta put that phone down.
Hmm.
So that's really how it went. I was gone 3 months, but the good thing about it, I was only I was only at home for about 2 months. I went back out there to Louisiana for Hurricane Ida. I was gone for
Okay.
another 3 months, so that was cool. But this year, it's been better for sure. definitely been better.
Okay, are you currently deployed?
I just ended a deployment 3 weeks
Okay,
ago.
where was that? Where was that?
It was
And for
in
how long?
for 7.5 months.
7.5 months. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
So
amazing. Okay, so where was it?
it was in Akron, Ohio, actually. So not that far from
Okay.
home. So
Wow. How far is that from where you live?
that's about probably 2 or 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours away.
Okay. Did you
So
find yourself traveling home a little bit more since you were so close?
yeah, my dad down the street, so definitely pull
Right.
up, go see him, can do what to do. But
Gotcha. So, not to get into your business, but how much did you make from this deployment? You said 7.5 months. That's a pretty long time.
yeah, so in total it was $119,000. But for the first like 2 months, I was hourly, and then I switched over to component. So it's really been
Okay.
it's
How old are you,
How,
man?
been pretty good.
What?
23,
At
like,
22
Yeah.
at the time. What?
so how would,
My
can
bad.
you,
I'm 23. 23. I just turned 23 2 weeks ago, November 30th. So
that's amazing.
Get your little cousins on. Get your little cousins on, man. Your little buddies, your
Yeah,
little
that's a
friends,
fact.
little buddy. Hey, man.
Yeah. So can you just briefly go into that switch that you made from hourly to component? Like just for people that don't know, just explain a little bit how you were affected by that.
really it was just from from my managers telling me, it was like, you really got to put on your A game. So it's like
Hmm.
the money, like the work that you do, you're getting paid specifically off that. It's completely different from hourly. So it's
Hmm.
like you really got to go hard, honestly. To you can For my first week off of a component, I was just doing twos. It was a decent
Right.
check, but what really picked up, I was doing four or fives every day, and now
Hmm.
I'm really seeing like a huge difference. So you can earn a lot more compared to hourly.
So what was your hourly wage? Like where were you at?
Mine was 45, 45 and change, I think.
45 an hour.
45,
That's
50.
Yeah,
lovely. And
seven.
everybody who's on that deployment is getting paid the same amount unless they're
Mhm.
component.
Yep.
Wow, that's great. And then so you after 2 months you went to component and did you pick it up easy? Were you doing twos for a while? Like were you upset that you switched over?
Uh, at first, it kind of shook me a little bit, but like
Right.
once you get a hang of it, you can kind of like simplify it, and you can just
Hmm.
plug and play. So it was kind of like
Right.
you just tapping. No, I'm single, so how did the deployment go? It was it was cool for real. It was cool, just chilling.
All right. So wow. So how much time do you think you're gonna get off? I mean, after 7.5 months, are you ready to go back?
Give me like one more week, and I'll probably pick it back up. One more week, I'll
I
probably pick it
feel
back
you.
up. But
You get boring soon when you're home all the time.
yeah, I mean, comes with it. You out here doing what you got to do, so it just comes with it.
Right. 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 All right. Well, does anybody else have any questions for Mr. Javon? 23, making bank. Boy, can you imagine at 23? I was lost in the sauce at 23.
Um, for
I
this,
think I think Claudius had a question. He wanted to know if you were doing property. So
Oh,
I think you're doing property,
yep,
oh,
right? Were you
right.
doing property?
yep, property up, and for the insurance carrier, I'm sorry, it was for Renfro.
Okay, but you were
Um,
like working for like State Farm?
yep, yep, State Farm.
State Farm. Hmm.
Yep. My main two,
Gotcha.
it's really like 10 of them, but just to be comfortable, you want to get like 10 at least, probably like 10
Oh,
rosters
like
that
being
you
on
like
firm,
to be at.
right? Being on
Yeah,
10 firms, right? Right. So I think
but
another question was that first deployment where you were there for 3 weeks. How much did you make during that first deployment? Do you remember?
yeah, I do. I don't think I ever forget that,
Right,
honestly.
right,
But
right.
for the first 3 weeks, it was $17,000. It was like,
Wow.
That's what I
yeah,
wanted to hear.
seven 12s and everything.
That's what I wanted him to hear. That's what I
Wow.
wanted him to hear.
17,000 in 3 weeks
That's what I wanted him to hear.
Yep.
legally. That's
Um,
crazy.
this community could have helped me so much when I first started from being on the other side of all the resources, me being more organized, me being, putting things first, right? Putting the work first,
Mhm.
right? And really just being organized. You're not organized, you're gonna get behind, and that is
Yeah,
like
easily.
impossible to come back from. So, you really got to create you a routine. That's another one too. You got to create a routine. Have to. So,
Yeah, I
that's
think one of my biggest focuses on going to the next deployment is really the distractions, like you mentioned, friends, family. Like I
yeah,
already know I'm gonna be like, hey, during these times, do not call
yeah,
unless it's an emergency. Because even
yeah.
though I will sit there on the phone maybe and still work, it's like I'm not super focused. I could get this done in 15 minutes versus
Mm-hmm.
25 or 30 minutes while I'm on the phone.
Yeah,
So it really does
definitely.
make a difference. It really does. And I'm trying to get the
Yeah,
100K a month. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be
yeah. I
super
feel it.
focused for
I'm,
that. Like,
yeah, I'm coming
Let's
for that next year,
go.
right from the
yo,
start. That's
me
what I
too.
want
I
for
can't
sure.
wait. I can't wait to get the opportunity. Oh
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
Does anyone have any other questions?
Question. What changed? What changed for you? Kind of in the beginning, you was pretty hard headed. You want to listen. Like, what changed? What was that shift for you? Because obviously, this is a new behavior. Because I wanted to choke you out a couple
Mm.
times.
And how long did
Yeah,
it take? How long did it take as well for that shift to change?
it almost took me 3 years. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. So like,
Mm.
I was really trying to find a career, but I was like sleeping on it, kind of.
Mm.
Basically, I was basically sleeping on
Right.
it until I went out there and I saw it. I'm like, I could just do this. Like, why not just do
Mm.
this? Zone in completely
Yeah.
on this. And so,
Well, you're a
yeah,
baby, so I can see how you might have taken a little while to be like, let me not fumble this bag. Hold on.
yeah, yeah, definitely for sure.
Right.
23 making
So,
17 grand, making over
right.
making over making over
Or 100.
100K at 23. Like, yo, at 23, like I think I was at a warehouse or something, making something minimally, maybe. Like I know I wasn't making no six figures at
Nowhere near it.
23,
Nowhere
with the
near it.
potential to just
Nowhere
keep
near
Yeah,
it.
climbing and climbing and climbing. This is your needle. It's like going up like that, dude. It's like, man. So man,
yeah,
I so look forward to your journey, man. Thank you for sharing that, man. Any
Yeah.
for
questions
sure,
or
Thank you.
anything?
Yeah, I got
for
a
sure.
question.
Mhm.
This is his other uncle. Look here. At what point did reality set in when you counted up and realized that you had made $119,000 in 7 months?
Um, it was when well, for me, it was for when I made this last car payment. And I paid it off, so that's when I started adding it up. I'm like, how much am I?
I
What am I
love
really
that.
doing right now? So
Man.
I started adding up those statements. I'm like, hold up, all right,
Felt great,
Yeah,
didn't it?
Hey man,
yeah, for
hey
Cliff,
man.
sure.
Cliff, you got a
Word of
question?
advice.
Yeah. Hey,
Okay.
Mhm.
Javon, great story. Hey, so what would the Javon right now say to the Javon that was just starting out, was all freaked out? What would you say?
Uh, I would tell them to stop thinking so much. Like you got too much in the head right now. You just got to calm it down. Pick one thing. Pick something that you want to do it, like you want to do, and just stick to it, and just become the best or become better at whatever it is that you chose. So you just gotta slow it down a little bit. I think that's kind of one of my biggest problems, just thinking too much. So yeah, I think that's definitely what I
Right.
tell myself.
That's dope, dude. That is so
That's
dope,
great.
man.
Oh
That's
man.
good
Well,
work,
thank
man.
you. Thank
Anybody
you.
else?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anybody else? I mean, we're about to let Jay go, and just because he's going right now, if y'all got questions, man, you want to put in the chat. If y'all
Yeah,
didn't
put
put
it
it
in the
down,
chat.
man,
Mhm.
drop it
Right.
in the chat. Yeah, he's available. I'm sure he wouldn't mind sharing, more of his experiences one on
Yeah,
one. I'm
for
gonna
sure.
offer him up, all the way. So thank you, Javon. I appreciate you for backing me on that. But guys, so if you want to, talk to him one on one, see what he's doing, what he's done to get to this point. A little bit more, feel free to, man, hit him up, drop him in the chat, man. So that's what we're here for. We're here to support each other in this community, man. So we're here to grow together, man. So Javon, I can't wait, man, to see
that's
your
an
next
amazing
year,
story.
your travels, man, and everything, man. So I appreciate you. I know everybody appreciates you for sharing that experience, man. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And also, guys, please fill out the contact form just so that we can get your information for upcoming things that we have rolling out next year. Next year is going to be such a special year. I can't wait. I can't wait. And also, please post any questions in the chat for our upcoming panel discussion. I'm going to get us started off, but I would love for the crowd to join in and, ask these guys some tough questions.
Absolutely, man. And speaking of that, man, so like I said, guys, we're going to introduce a new thing that we're going to be bringing, man. We've had, a couple of 22 weeks of these calls, 22 weeks of these calls. So we're going to do a panel discussion today. So we've been privy enough to drop a few questions in, but like I said, the chat is always open for more questions that we have.
And you can also raise your hand. Sorry to interrupt, but you can also, throw a hand raising there as well.
I also encourage those who are got a camera but don't have them on. Turn those cameras on, man. Let's see those faces. Let's see them bad hair there. Whatever. You got, I don't care if you got a do-rag on, if you got a cap pulled on, if you got rollers in your head, if you got whatever you got, man. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and turn those cameras on, man. We love to see y'all beautiful faces, man. Just to join, interact, man. We love to have you. We appreciate your participation for those that are already in that mode. So guys, like we say, man, I am so happy to be introducing this, next portion. We have two of our very own that are, big columns in this whole thing that we're having, man. They started this journey together. I know I'm very, very interested in how they made it and how they're still going strong, being around each other all this time and working and making all this money and stuff. So, all right, so let's get to it, man. So, guys, Tobbie Rowe, Mr. Dennis Farris, they're going to be joining us. They're going to be talking. Janae's going to be bringing them out there. So, guys, Tobbie, Dennis, join us. Janae, please have at it.
Yes, guys, please give us a little introduction.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
So I'm Tobbie Rowe. I've been adjusting for about 3 years now. I have previously was in upper level management in oil and gas for about 26 or so years. Found myself unemployed just due to the turn in the market. Repetitively, actually, three different times I got laid off in the last 6 years prior to starting adjusting. And for the last time, I had been laid off for about 8 months, close to a year. And, Travis said, this would be a very good opportunity for me to get back on my feet and make some decent money. And once I realized, that wouldn't be quite so difficult. Let me figure out how to do that. And so I brought Dennis in with me, and we decided to attack this career as a team in the beginning. So Dennis, you want to tell them a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Dennis Farris. Like Tobbie said, we started this journey together. Before I started doing insurance adjusting, I personal train. That's what I've done for the most part, but I've tried to keep several revenue paths. So I also worked for a moving company. I drove trucks for them, and Tobbie and I have been together for a while, and she basically wanted me to quit all those endeavors and told me to, come do this insurance adjusting. Well, I've got faith. I mean, I've got faith. I'm a believer and all that good stuff. But everybody knows the saying, I ain't quitting a job till I got a job. No way. So she had to go out there to show me what it was about. And I was still skeptical, So when we started this together, it was both of us not really having nothing to go back to. So we couldn't go backwards. So we had to go forward. Because what I did was I quit. Once I saw her first check, I quit. I was like, okay, we ain't doing that no more. I went in there and told my boss, she got paid Friday. I told him Friday, I'm done. This is it. And so that was it. And so ever since then, we started this journey together. And so in the beginning, we had a lot of difficulties with licenses for me because I've got 2 felonies, 1, 2, and so it took me a little longer to get my license. And so when we first started, we tried to get on her second, which would have been my first deployment, her second deployment. We tried to get on that together, and my license wasn't ready. Well, probably I don't know. It was within days after she took the deployment, like a day maybe. Same day, okay. Same day she took the deployment and was ready to go, and my license was done. And so I had to wait till her third deployment, my first deployment. So she had made several moves in the game while I was still trying to maintain over there. And I explained to my boss that, since it didn't come around this time, I'm going to stay and work and when that first opportunity comes, I was gone. So I left, and that was that. Toby?
Demetrio, that first paycheck for 14 full days was $8,056. It was an hourly deployment, regular pay, no 2-story steep. Hurricane Ida in South Carolina.
Yeah, I would have quit too. Definitely would have quit too. 1,000%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I saw her check. Her check was, what she said it was, and I probably wasn't making that in 3 months at some point. So I was
right.
like, I'm out.
So it was an easy decision. It was an easy decision.
Yeah. You're a smart man, dude. You're a smart man, brother.
I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah.
Well, and
So
for everybody who is just real quick, sorry, Janae, for everybody who is listening, this industry can be very forgiving when it comes to the licensing process. As Dennis mentioned, he had 2 felony convictions previously. Nothing that was, detrimental, but they are felony convictions. And when you're going through the licensing process, they simply ask you, have you ever been convicted of a misdemeanor? Yes or no. Have you ever been convicted of a felony? Yes or no. And once you say yes, there is a series of steps that you have to go through to get your licensing approved. And again, they're not anything that is super difficult. I think for the most part, they really just want to make sure that you're serious about this and you're not going to screw up the opportunity. But it's very doable. So if there's any of you out there listening that might have a prior history, don't let that discourage you at all, because this can be life-changing. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Janae.
And if you know anybody, bring them in on the call too, just so they can get some ideas about it. So I was gonna ask, so when you guys first started out, like, did you have to well, you was already on deployment twice, so did you have to come in with any type of ground rules for you guys to go through to just make sure that, the environment is good and productive? Like, how did that start out?
Go ahead.
Well, so being on deployment as a couple can be pretty challenging. It is first and foremost. Let me say we started as a team, not just that we were on deployment as a couple. We started as a team, and we were a 2-story steep team, which meant you had a lead and then you had what they call a ladder assist. Because I had already been on 2 deployments, one being hurricane, which is declared a wind event, and the second deployment was interior pipe freeze event. They elected me as the lead and Dennis as the ladder assist. As every one of you in here know Dennis, he is pretty strong-headed and strong-willed, and he likes to lead. So going into this situation right off the bat, I did have to set some ground rules in that respect, because from the carrier's point of view, everything falls on the lead. All of the coverage decisions, the paper handling, every aspect in regards to completing that claim falls on the lead. And so I had to make sure that he had to fall back a little bit and let me lead. And so that was a bit of a challenge at first.
Right, I bet it was.
And part of the challenge for me was I've never had to follow anybody at anything. And so
that's right.
You know what I mean? And so coming to this scenario, immediately I'm thinking, okay, just show me where I need to go so I can start doing my thing. Well, it ain't that simple at all. In fact, she's still the leader. So if y'all want to know, there that is. And it's been 3 years and I still can't lead yet. I'm getting there, but
so do you think working together, being on deployment together, did it bring you guys closer?
I think so, 100%.
Yeah.
It is a major challenge because we are together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's not typical for even people who are married. Usually you both divide and conquer. You go to your own separate jobs, you come home, you reconvene later in the day. And that was really never much of an option for us.
Where we has got to have the same schedule. You know what I mean? When I get up, if I'm getting up at 5, she got to get up at 5, and she don't like to get up at 5. So it's like, our schedule had to match. And that was one of the challenges, because I like to get up at 5 and go to the gym and do all that other stuff. And, I had to get her kind of on that page, and she had to kind of get me on the page of pay attention to the work. You ain't invested enough into the work. So
that sounds like that's how I would probably be.
I would say one of the larger challenges would be, that being our 3rd deployment, and it was my first hail deployment, which now, looking back and reflecting, hail is so easy in comparison to the rest of the deployments, but it was my first hail deployment. And so, there still are some nuances that create a bit of a learning curve. I am the type of person who I can't just stop working because the clock says it's quitting time. And in this industry, there's always work that has to be done.
Never stops.
It never stops. And so because of that caveat, I would work. So you're on a deployment that's 7-12, but I would easily and always work 14 to 16 hours a day. And being the lead, that was my responsibility. And so because Dennis was the ladder assist, his responsibilities pretty much ended once we got back in the car after that last inspection. And so evening time was chill time for him for the most part. And here I am still working until, all hours of the evening, and he's relaxing. And so that was a very difficult part of the relationship, but I also believe that is another thing that brought us a lot closer together, because he was able to see firsthand my work ethic, how dedicated I was, how much attention and focus that that part of the job is going to take once he went on his own deployment. So it was two-sided coin there.
And my deployment came shortly after we started. Got going in July. My deployment came in September. And so while we were on deployment, I got my own deployment. And I think I lasted 6 weeks, which everybody was like, yeah, you did great. And I felt defeated.
That's good.
I felt defeated.
First deployment, that's pretty good.
Well, and another thing that I don't believe he ever took into consideration with his deployment only lasting 6 weeks, he was technically doing 2 deployments. He was still being my ladder assist while doing his own deployment. So,
and getting paid for both?
No.
I was about to say, oh, these damn balloons.
Talk about
it. So you was kind of like helping her out still.
I never let her touch the roof. I promised her she wouldn't have to touch no roofs anymore. So when I got to where I, got everything under my belt a little better, I thought I could. Yeah, that stuff was difficult. It's really difficult. You wanna, man. It was really difficult trying to pick that stuff up. If you don't know, I hadn't worked with a computer in years, and when I did, it wasn't to this degree. So, going from pointing and shooting and just telling people and handing in paperwork and filling out this and turning it in, or filling out
a lot more work.
Fitness program for somebody or something simple. Nothing. This intense work over here. I had to change the work ethic I had for sitting down and looking at the computer. You know what I mean? It was like. And like I said, them checks will change you. You see them checks coming.
Yep.
Start grinding harder. You start grinding harder, and that's what happened for me because, she had been, like she said, she'd been oil and gas, so she had to teach me how to right click this and click that. And it was a very difficult transition for me, but like I said, I'm here, and so anybody who's feels they can't work on a computer and all that.
Right. I was gonna ask if you could just talk to that transition. Like now you're good with that, with the computer stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's very repetitive, right?
Right. And if you like I said, so one of the points for me about this whole thing was the roofs. I used to get on roofs when I was a kid. I say a kid, 22, 25, somewhere in there. And I learned a lot on the roofs. Well, when I was done with roofing way back then, I was done with roofing. I didn't ever think I was going to ever have to get on any roofs again. As a matter of fact, it was not going to be a thing. And so when she was telling me about all this stuff, and a major part of this is Travis too. She was, Travis doing this, Travis doing that. He's making this kind of money. Because one thing Travis did one time when Tobbie was down and out, he came and he bought some stuff and paid for some stuff. And then, I was thinking, great, I don't have the means, not like that, and then in the back of my head, I'm like, how this cat got the means to just flow like that? You know what I mean? This dude got paper, cake. What is happening? And so fast forward.
Club.
And so fast forward, she's like, Travis is making 10,000 every 2 weeks. I was like, okay, damn, wow, that's nice. Travis is making 45,000 in 3 weeks. Whoa. What? Huh? What? So, on the back end, I'm telling my partners, yeah, I'm gonna be making 45,000 every 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And so, when I got out there, I had all these expectations. Until you get on that roof, you ain't never got on that roof. And so when I got going up that roof, the guy that was training me, which most of y'all probably won't even have a trainer, but that's what we're here for. We're gonna make sure you're prepared like we weren't.
Absolutely.
And I had a trainer, which he prepared me. Lord help me, bless me with that guy, Shane. He prepared me to go up and down those roofs. Well, I had a come to Jesus point because some of them roofs are high and steep. And if you want to make the most money,
yes, they are.
You got to go up the steep one. So I had a come to Jesus moment. I sat down there and he kind of was like, hey, you sit this one out. I can see what's on your face. I'm going to go take care of it for you. He took care of it for me. And I had to figure out if I'm going to go forward or backwards right then. You know what I mean? Because they all going to be like this. So what are you going to do? You know what I mean? And so that for us, that whole transition from me was the hard part for us, trying to still figure out how I'm going to, be the leader. And then, I can't figure this stuff out. That was the hardest part for me. But, the computer, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know that could be challenging for some people. Meet, you got a question for them? Let's hear it.
Yeah, man. I just want to know with everything that you guys have been through the last couple of years, yes, whatever. What is the biggest change? You know, say you guys get into a deployment 2024 that you would make going to 2024 that you've done in the past that you would think that would benefit you to relationship wise and work as well.
I'll take the work part. You take the relationship part. Because, well, it's easy on the work part. We've been running separately and making, a good amount of money. If we figure out how to run together, I release some of my headstrongness. We'll figure out how to run together, and we'll make tons of money.
Right.
So
I'm
that's
very
what we're
interested
gonna,
in
that's what
that
we're
side
gonna
of
do.
things.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Now, you do relationship.
Okay. Now relationship.
So it's kind of a merge of the two, actually, because the fact that we've been working as a team now for going on 3 years. We've been through multiple deployments. The longest one lasting 8.5 months. I think it became pretty apparent to Dennis on this last deployment how much I can do in a day. And so that being said, I have been trying to explain to him that the original plan was to work together as a team on component, because if I stay behind in office, so to speak, all day and do nothing but write estimates, and he's out in the field all day doing nothing but climbing roofs and inspecting elevations, we could make so much more money. As far as paperwork goes, I can easily close 15 claims in a day. Easy.
Nice.
I can outright the estimates that for the roofs that he can get on, most likely. But that being said, as you can see and hear in his voice, I still haven't convinced him yet that that's the way to roll. And so that is something that is still challenging for me from the relationship side, because I mean, it's what's the saying? How's the saying go? Y'all know I'm bad at saying. The proof is in the pudding, right? So the amount of estimates that I can close in a day should be an eye opener to how we can run from a component point of view. And so we butt heads a lot because I'm constantly trying to convince him of these things, and I haven't figured out yet how to convince him of these things when he's seen the performance. So how we're going to fix that, I don't know yet. I thought I did, but it's still not there yet.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you.
With that being said, was there any moments where you guys like butt heads to the point where you just like wasn't talking to each other while you're working, or like something that caused big argument?
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, I just realized my mic is still on.
I go to the gym 3 hours a day now, and that's how that started, staying away from her.
Okay, taking breaks.
No, big break. Yeah, I'd be like, I'm not ready to go back. I'm going to stay at the gym. Because when I used to go to the gym, it'd be like an hour. You know the old cliche, you go an hour, you good. And I just started staying in there 3 hours, and I really started getting benefits in the gym. But it was really just needing space. And even
that's why you're so big. That's why you're so big and swole up now, boy. Big swole, boy. Hold it.
And another thing is, and just to keep it 1,000, when we're out on the street, I mean on the deployments like that for 6-8 months at a time, 5-6 months at a time, when we come home, we don't live together, but so when we come home, we need our space sometime,
Right. That was going to be my next question. Like, do you guys take breaks, or what does that even look like when you need to take a break on deployment?
Not like breaks, but she's got a whole household she has to run with her. She got kids there. Her son is challenged, and her other son is just turned 18. He's about to finish school. So all those, all that stuff is, she still got to handle all that stuff. And me, I live in an apartment. I got 3 daughters, a 5-year-old, the smallest. One of my daughters is on here now, that Jordan Farris that y'all see. And like I said, you know, they're grown except for my 5-year-old, and she's with her mother. So I don't have a whole lot of responsibility at the house like that. So, so when we get off deployment, you know, we don't have to stay together still.
Right.
You know? Yeah, and it makes a huge difference.
So would you guys recommend going on deployment with your significant other?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just everything's gonna have a
100%.
challenge in life. Everything's gonna have a challenge. You know, you're gonna be challenged at whatever you do. And so this is just a challenge for us that you know, I mean, we're gonna make it work. I don't care what happens, we're gonna make it work. You're not gonna stop the numbers from coming in. So
Right. I'm just I really hope that we could follow up with you guys on the next deployment to see, because I'm personally very interested in like trying to team up, you know, like just see how well you could do together. Because I mean, I would imagine if Tobbie could close 15 claims in a day, we're getting
easy.
paid. We're getting
Yeah.
paid. Like,
yeah. And like I said, when we
figure out the little bits and pieces of it, but
yeah,
that's
I'm gonna be open for whatever. I mean, you show me the numbers. I'm gonna be open, whatever.
right.
I'm gonna take myself out completely out of it. Be like, hey, all right.
Larry had a question.
Uh-oh, where's Larry?
Oh,
I
Larry.
got one too.
Larry iPhone.
Okay.
Where you at, boss?
Go ahead, Ricky.
iPhone, baby.
Yeah,
Larry on laptop today.
Oh,
I
Larry
just wanted to
laptop.
know.
Are you
It's
talking?
LL, Larry laptop.
But
Larry
my question,
laptop.
is, did it make it easier for you to be in, to have that support, your actual support system with you? You know what I'm saying? Whether did, like me myself, if I when and I get ready to go out on the point, I'm going by myself. You know what I'm saying? So just knowing that you got that, your significant other and that support system there with you, does that make your deployment a lot easier, better?
Yeah.
For me,
So my first deployment. Oh, so my first deployment, as we mentioned earlier, was by myself. Within South Carolina. So I can't remember the exact mileage, but it's like around 1,400 miles away from home. As Dennis mentioned, I have 3 kids. Well, I have 4 kids, 3 that live with me right now. At the time, Sophia, were you living at home then? Yeah. So at the time, I just had the one living at home. But I'm having 4 kids, raising 4 kids. I'm used to having a lot of kids and family around me. You know, Dennis and I, like Dennis mentioned, we were in a relationship. And so kind of dropping everything and leaving home base, being away from your friends and family, being away from your boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, significant other, being out there kind of in the wild, so to speak, not knowing which direction you're going.
Far away from home.
Far away from home. You know, it's a new career. It's something that not everybody in the beginning is super comfortable with. First time I probably got on a roof as an adult. I mean, messing around on the farm, of course, when I was young, I used to climb out my window and get on my roof. But as an adult, you know, it's a whole different, you have a whole new set of fears, you know. And so that was a challenge. The second deployment was 7.5, 8 weeks for the pipe freeze in Houston. And again, that first, the first week, you don't really feel anything because it's so busy. There's so much coming at you at once. You're just kind of like trying to catch your bearings and everything. By about the second week, 2.5 weeks, you start getting kind of lonely. You're starting to miss your family and your friends and wondering, you know, when am I going to go home? You know, and so I would say having Dennis there as my person, you know, being able to support me when it's hard, being able to hold me down, so to speak, when I'm ready to quit. It really means a lot and makes a huge difference. Of course, you know, that's part of what we feel like this this community is going to do is to help people from the mental health side, not just understanding how to be an adjuster and how to walk through those steps, but also support you from the person side, the human aspect of being an adjuster, because it is hard being out there on the road by yourself.
It is. That's what this community is for too. Like I said earlier, it would be much tougher for me to stay deployed if I didn't have this community. Does anybody else have? Oh yeah, Ricky, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to ask when problems came up, and I know he was your ladder assist at some point, but then did y'all discuss files in order to get them out faster to make more money? That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, we did. Sometimes there was a learning curve for Dennis when it came to picture taking. So obviously if he was the one on the roof, right, he's the one providing the photo documentation.
A little bit of control, Ricky.
Yeah.
And there would be a lot of times where I would be like, okay, caveat there also, since he was my ladder assist and this is my first hail deployment, I literally didn't know what the hail I was looking at, right?
Right.
So he would be providing me the photo documentation. I'm like, are you saying this is hail, or are you saying this is no hail? Like, what? Or you know, sometimes I'd be like, what is this picture of even? And that's where the training of the picture taking came in. And so yeah, I was inspecting the exterior elevations and he was inspecting the roofs. So as far as the documentation for the ground goes, you know, I knew what everything was because I took the pictures. But as far as the roof went, yeah, there would be a lot of collaboration, trying to figure out, you know, are you agreeing with the contractor with his markings? You know, what are you showing me here? Damage, no damage? What are we talking about? So there'd be a lot of collaboration as far as that goes.
And that, Ricky, is one of the things that in our training, when we developed this training, I can express, because I had a learning curve on what needs to be processed. If you got someone there that is not getting on your roof and they want to see these pictures and they need to, you know, what do they need to see? You know what I mean? So that needle can move forward. And you know, that was one of the things.
I bet that helped you tremendously to have like clear and concise notes for yourself when you're running on your own deployments.
Right.
And also, did they ever allow y'all to use drones?
Oh
no, sir.
No.
Ain't using no drone over here.
So State Farm
Google pause.
Yeah, you have to get up on that.
State Farm does not allow the usage of drones, just so everyone knows. There are carriers who do allow the usage of drones, but I can tell you, you know, there are a couple very significant attributes that are required to quantify hail damage, and you cannot tell from a drone specifically.
I've personally had to go up there and explain to a contractor, now that we both agree that there's nothing up here, go tell the policyholder that, you know, you called her out here for nothing, explaining to, because his drone said that there was this and his drone said that there was that. So when we both got out there, we looking like,
where is it at?
Where is it at, pal? Where is it at?
The drone just identifies marks. It just identifies the marks. You can't specify the marks.
Probably just a shadow.
Right. It's picking up sticks and everything.
Nail pops.
Nail pops.
Yeah.
Everything. It picks up everything. Like wear and tear from like
everything.
Walking on the roof.
Rubbing
everything.
and brushing and all that.
None of it tail.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I have.
Yes, this was a great panel discussion.
Thank y'all.
I like this new layout. Yeah, I'm liking it. Does anyone else have any questions? Please let us know.
If you have a question,
and Sophia, yes.
Yes, Sophia, yes. Yes.
Just curious. Good to know.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And again, if you guys think of some things later, you can always drop them in the chat. You know, we can get you in contact. If y'all thinking about getting out on the road with your significant other or your best friend, your buddy, you want to figure out how to assist them or whatever. You know,
I'm trying to do
we
that.
got experience here, man. We got people here who can talk to you about it. Maybe save you from bumping your head a little bit, make it a little bit easier for you. So, you know, don't hesitate to reach out.
A whole lot easier.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. So again, man, we want to thank you guys. Thank you, Tobbie. Thank you, Dennis.
Yes, thank you guys.
Opening up your lives and letting us take a peek inside how it is as a couple on the road, making all that money. We didn't discuss what you're gonna do with it, all the vacationing and all of that stuff. You know, maybe home.
I'm going to Costa Rica.
We went to Hawaii.
All I know, that's two income. That's two income.
Right.
That's double the money. That's all I know.
Double your money, double the fun.
That's all I know.
Baby.
All I know is 2 + 2 is 4. double that. I'm not good at math, but I know that much. You know what I mean? So it sounds great, man. It sounds like a great path, man. If you got somebody you can get along with like that, man, go ahead and do it, man. I suggest you guys try it out.
We had a, you know, you say get along, but we had a common goal, common business mind, common understanding. You know what I mean, and commonly built that relationship as well.
Absolutely,
it's a nice dynamic.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
You heard it from the
especially for those who may be afraid of the roof, or they're like, this job is not for me, just because they don't want to get on the roof. You know, like
so
some
go get
good
you a
insight
boyfriend
for
that
that.
can climb the roof.
Or girlfriend. Or girlfriend. She may want to get up there. I know Janae crazy on the roof, so I'd be like, nah, she's crazy. She out there close to the edge. She all on looking at the gutters. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I can take the gutters from the ground.
I was wilding when the other day the contractor was like, "Oh, you're brave, huh?" I was like, "What? Like this is like a 6. This is easy."
So some women be crazy out there. They be crazy. So not just men, but you know, find you somebody that you go on the roof with. That's all.
Right.
So man, thank y'all again for joining us, guys.
Yes, thank you guys.
Man, for giving us that story and sharing your lives with us, man. We really appreciate it, man. So guys, you know, I think we've really, you know, got everything on this call this week, man. The ins and outs, man. Out on the road with everybody. However, I want to make sure to invite you guys again next week. Please join us. Zoom, bring somebody. Like Janae said, if you love them, bring somebody. If they're interested in adjusting, bring them.
18 years old.
18 years old. Can you imagine whose life you can change with that?
Right. If they're coming into adulthood, bring them. If they've just gotten out, you know what I mean? You know, they've gotten out and looking for something to do. Bring them. As you can see, having 2 felonies did not stop this man from doing what he wanted to do. That's called that's pushing through. That's called setting your eye on the prize and making sure that you get it. So if you got somebody in that, you know, bring them. You know, I know people, man, just bring them on. So, guys, $100K a month. We got that club. That's the goal. Not $100K a year. We've been surpassed that. $100K a month. You know, we have people that's doing that 2 times over. Well, I know somebody that's doing it 2 times over.
I know somebody too. Her name Janae.
I know somebody.
200 a month. And doing that, guys. So, guys, I want you to make sure that you stick with us next week.
Atrio, someone has a question.
Okay. What's the question?
He's the auto man.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Claus.
My guy.
I don't know. After this conversation, I'm probably switching over to property. But
yeah, you probably should.
My simple question is: I've often heard about it, but I want to know if someone could just break down exactly what is component and the process goes along with that.
Travis, you're the man for
Travis. Dr. Rock.
Great question. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna call you afterwards. In respect to time. In respect to time.
No, he really is gonna call you, and he really gonna chat you up. So you should definitely drop your number.
I'm chilling.
Drop your number, because that's gonna be a good conversation. Oh, okay.
Hey, Claude, it's just math involved, and he's not real good at math. He got to take his socks off and get his toes out so he can do all the counting and stuff. That's all.
Very simply put, you either get paid hourly for your work or you get paid based off the amount of damages found.
Okay.
So yeah, you get a certain amount under 20,000. Once you go over 20,000, it's by a percentage, and that's just simply put. But Travis will break it down further for you.
Yeah, I'll break it down for you.
And guys, if you could please follow us on the socials, please. We just got those get going, and we're looking for people to follow us, to promote us. And also, very important, if you could please fill out that feedback form. We're looking to try to give you guys, the best call or the best that we can give you. So please fill that out for us so we can know what you guys also want us to speak about. But yes, thank you for joining us this Sunday.
Take a screenshot of that shameless plug so you can see where we at. We on everything. Utilize that. Send that link to your people. Just hit us up, man. We're everywhere that there is to be seen. We got a presence there. You know what I mean? So I really do appreciate y'all, man, and I hope that y'all appreciate us as much as we do. And if you do, man, bring somebody next week. Next week, we're going to continue this panel discussion. We're going to be kicking it off and with our marketing team. We got a great marketing team that's making sure that we are on those platforms. We got Major, he's Major.
And they all making money.
Making big money. We have Kayvon, Sterling. I think Sophie may be joining with the marketing. She's on the marketing team. I believe she may be there next week on the panel. But these guys, everybody's going to be on the panel next week, guys. So if you got questions from the marketing team and how do they market us, their experience, what makes them the marketing team, any of that questions that you have, man, get ready, prep those questions, man. Next week, you can ask all of those, drop them in the chat, however you feel. But again, we thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. On week 22. Next week will be the Michael Jordan week. 22, baby. No, next week will be week 23. So I hope to see y'all beautiful faces next week. And again, man, thank you, time and time again. I don't have anything else to say, but go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys! I knew you were going to say.
You know that was coming.
Go Cowboys!
Go Cowboys!
I can't even say nothing.
Yeah, let's skip over that for today.
Hey, let's go do this thing, man. So, man, but more importantly than the Cowboys, man, are you guys?
You gonna say it again? Come out.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great, man. All right.